Hello everyone, in this video I am going to cover how to reach Diamond League in ranked mode on Apex Legends. I want to point out that achieving Diamond League is very possible for you. I think that a lot of players don't think that they can reach this league or higher because they tell themselves they are not good enough. The moment you tell yourself you can't make it, you probably won't make it. Just try for a moment to think that it is possible and then stick with that mindset. Another thing you need to consider is that this will take some hours to achieve, since it is a bit of a grind to get all of those ranked points. Before you do this, you need to consider why you are spending all of this time doing this. Perhaps you want to crush your friends at this game, or perhaps you want to get noticed on your Twitch channel or YouTube channel by being one of the best. Or perhaps you just simply love this game and you want to see how far you can go. Once you have your reason, or multiple reasons, whatever they may be, then begin your grind, and when you feel like you are a failure, or can't get better, or will never be good enough, think back to those reasons, and that will help you push forward through the rough spots. With that being said, these are steps I generated from personal experience of climbing to Diamond League. There are definitely other strategies, and I am sure these steps will change as I climb to Apex Predator League. I have already noticed some things I will be doing differently moving forward after achieving Diamond League, but for the time being, I will give you these steps. If I do reach Apex Predator, I will make another video on how to get to that league with a modified process. Without further ado, let's get to the steps. Step 1 is to land towards the end of the dropship's path about 900 meters away if possible at the start of the match, and try to avoid landing at an area with another team. High tier loot locations are ideal, but if you have another team coming to the same area as you can break off towards a mid-tier loot location, which will work as well. The purpose of landing alone in the beginning is to at least get your team shields and a weapon or two before engaging an enemy team. This really helped in my games to avoid the chance of losing a match right away at the start and losing all the hard-earned ranked points you just achieved. Step 2 is to use a mid to long range weapon and a close range weapon. Having a mid to long range weapon will be great for pushing a held position when the enemy squad has mid to long range weapons. It will help with defending a position, it will help when chasing an enemy down, and it is extremely beneficial in regards to not risking dying in a close range battle when it is harder to escape if your squad is about to lose a fight. The mid to long range weapons I would recommend are the longbow or triple take. I would suggest using a 2 to 4 times scope or a 4 to 8 times scope on these weapons. A 4 to 10 times scope is great too if you manage to find one. Having a strictly close range weapon is going to be huge when you are in a position that you are forced to fight an enemy squad and are in close quarters. The 3 weapons I would recommend for close range are the R99, Peacekeeper, or Alternator with disruptor rounds. Based on personal experience, these 3 weapons have outplayed all other weapons in close range battles. There are definitely other great close range weapons that people prefer, but perhaps I am just better at using the 3 I listed versus the other options. For the close range weapons for sights, I typically use the 1x HCOG Classic or the Digital Threat if you can find one. Step 3 is to always stay close to your teammates if possible. You are going to have a much better chance of all 3 of you surviving until the end game if you play like this, and as a result have a much higher chance of winning the match if you are all alive at the end of the match. This means even when you are engaging enemies, stay close and try to target the same enemy player at the same time to pick opponents off one at a time. This will help you defeat enemy squads because the sooner you drop one of their players, the enemy squad will start to mentally crumble and they will have one less gun firing at your squad. Also, when you need to heal, try to stay close to your squad and not bail so far away to heal, leaving your teammates alone in the fight. I have done this a fair share myself and have noticed the times I have stuck close to my team while healing, the fights have gone much better. Step 4 is to push fights that are ongoing between 2 teams. This will help you win the fight because both teams will likely be weak. Also, you will likely get good loot if you win and will get extra ranked points for the kills. I have found it very beneficial to wait for fights to happen versus starting the fight yourself. Step 5 is to not take fights where the odds are greatly against you. Cases like this are if your team doesn't have good shields yet and you start fighting a team that has all level 3 shields, or a team has a high elevation position with long range weapons and your team has no long range weapons yet, or you are pushing a position and you are going to be stuck in a tight area where the team already has traps set up like Watson fences or caustic gas traps. Try to avoid scenarios like this if possible. Most of the time you can go back the way you came and travel around to a different location. Don't get stuck on the mindset that it is too late to change your path, because it likely is not. Step 6 is to disengage if all hope is lost. It is important to learn how to judge this. If you bail right when you start fighting an enemy squad and your team is still fighting, That is way too early and your team will likely die because you bailed on them. The only time you should disengage is if both of your teammates have fallen and the other team has 2 or 3 players on their squad still alive. If it comes down to a one-on-one and you are low on health, you will have to make that call, but I would typically say try to stay and win the fight. That way you get all of the loot if you win and can probably recover your teammates' banners. Step 7 is if you reach a top 10 scenario, try your best to hold positions with your team and try to get a top 3 for the 7 ranked points that placement awards. This means not attacking people unless you are forced to once you reach the top 10. Step 8 is if you have an opportunity to win the game, say you are now in the top 3, try your best to wait until the other 2 squads are fighting and then join the fight. Try to kill whichever squad has more people or appears to be winning the fight. That way you will even the playing fields and will hopefully win the match. If you attack the weak team, the strong team will inevitably focus their attention on you next, and your chances of winning will fall greatly. Hope you enjoyed this video and found these steps to be helpful for you. As said before, these steps are what I generated from my experience of grinding the ranked ladder to Diamond League. After figuring out the strategy, I was able to start moving up consistently rather than getting stuck or falling back down the ladder. Make sure to leave a like if you found this video to be helpful, post any questions you have in the comment section, join the Discord chat if you want to play a game with me or other players on Apex, the link is in the description, and subscribe if you want to see more content similar to this video. Thanks for watching and I will see you all in the next one.